911, what's the emergency, please?
Just received a 911 call reporting that there is an out-of-control bulldozer.
A 61-ton bulldozer covered in steel armor crashes through a building. Then another, and another. Nothing stops it. For 2 hours, this machine will tear through 13 buildings, $7 million in damage. Sealed inside the dozer is Marvin Heemeyer, a 52-year-old welder and Air Force veteran. When I first started looking into this story, I thought I knew what side I was on. Crazy dude goes on a rampage, right? But as I started to look into it, I wasn't so sure. So what happened to Marvin Heemeyer to send him over the edge? Today, we find out.
Because you people needed to be taught a lesson.
Let's go back 12 years earlier. Marvin Heemeyer moves to Granby, Colorado, a very small town. Granby's the kind of town where the same old families have run things for generations, and Marv isn't one of them. But he's optimistic, positive, starting fresh. Take a look at this. Here is Marv when he first shows up to Granby, and here is where he ends up 12 years later. There are 4 moments in this story. Each one of them pushes Marv a little closer, a little further down this line to total destruction. Starting with today, he's at a property auction, and there's a 2-acre lot for sale, 723 Country Road, which Marv wants as an investment. It's going to be the main part of his retirement plan. But what he doesn't know is there are 2 people in this crowd who are also interested. Cody Dozer and his financial backer, Gus Wilson. Cody owned this property before the bank took it. This is his former concrete plant. But Cody had missed the payments, and ultimately, he lost it. Now, he wants it back. The auction starts, the bidding goes back and forth. Cody, Marv, Cody, until Marv bids the handsome sum of $42,000. He looks around. Silence. Cody and Gus are out. A second later, the auctioneer drops his gavel. Sold to Heemeyer. The land is his. And just seconds later, Cody Dozer walks over.
I'm the rudest, most arrogant person. Come back and just introduced himself by just giving me a tongue lashing for about 10 minutes about, who I thought I was and what I was going to do with the property.
This is our moment 1. At the time, he felt Cody was nothing more than a sore loser. Marv had no idea that this was the beginning of a much bigger problem. The path has begun. Right now, your internet service provider is quietly building a file on you. Every site, every click, it's all being logged. And that creates a massive vulnerability that can be exploited. And that's why I use private internet access, my VPN of choice, and the sponsor of this video. Think of a VPN as a secure, encrypted tunnel for your data. But every time you connect using private internet access, you get a new identity, a new IP address that can't be traced back to you. It keeps your identity hidden and your browsing history private. One of my favorite features about private internet access is their no logs policy. They store no personal data, but it's not just about privacy. It also works with all major streaming services. My favorite movie trilogy is the Matrix series, but they don't actually have it available on Netflix here in Australia, or even on the US server. But that's no problem. I just boot up the app, tunnel into the Japan server and refresh, and boom, there it is. All 3 movies ready for me to enjoy. With servers in over 91 countries and all 50 states in the US, you can gain access to websites and services that are only available in those locations. And today, super excited to announce you guys will get an 83% discount on private internet access. That works out to be about $2.03 a month, which is super cheap. Plus, if you sign up now, you'll get an additional 4 months free. Sign up using my link in the description below or scan the QR code on screen now. It's now summer 1992, 3 months after this auction, and a man named Bud Wilson shows up at Marv's property. He's the superintendent of the Granby Water and Sanitation District. Now, Cody Dochev, the previous owner, had never hooked up to sewage to the town, and Bud Wilson wants it fixed.
They wanted me to be annexed into the water and sanitation district, so I said, great. I just expected it to go through.
At the next town meeting, Marv walks in thinking it's going to be a routine approval. But there's a problem. The sewer main doesn't run through Marv's property. So to connect, Marv needs permission to run a line across to his neighbor's land. And who owns that land? Gus Harris. The same man who was financing Cody Dochev at the auction now controlled whether his business could be up to code. The only other way is to build his own connection to the main line, which will cost up to $80,000, a cost that would obviously cripple Marv. Now here's what's curious. Cody Dochev ran a concrete plan on this exact property for years. He never connected it to the town sewer and nobody said a word. But the moment Marv buys it, it's a code violation. To Marv, that doesn't feel like bureaucracy. It feels targeted. And this is moment 2. The sewerage issue. It sounds silly, right? But this issue will haunt Marv. It will follow him relentlessly for more than 10 years. And on the day he finally builds the bulldozer, it'll still be unresolved. The path is getting clearer. But for now, Marv decides to leave the sewer issue alone. He puts in his effort into opening a shop, Mountain View Muffler. You see, Marv's an expert welder, and word spreads fast. Best welder in town. The business is profitable from the start, and for the most part, the town leaves him alone. But in 1997, everything changes. Cody Dochev buys the land next to Marv, the 2 acres previously owned by Gus Harris. That's the same land Marv needed for the sewer easement. But that's not the issue. The issue is what Cody plans to build there. This next moment, this is the one that breaks him. Word starts going around town that Cody wants to build a concrete batch plant right next door to Marv's property. And then Cody starts construction. Wait, nothing's been approved yet. No permits, no public hearings. What is going on? Marv's doing the math. A concrete plant right next to me, upwind of my property. There will be noise, dust, traffic all day, every day. This will ruin his business, ruin his retirement plan, and everything he's put into it.
You put yourself in my shoes and tell me how you would feel at 50 years old, realizing that you've wasted 10 years of your life because of someone's malice.
This is moment 3, and this time, Marv decides he's not backing down.
And in nature, even an animal will fight to protect, and a male will definitely protect his territory. If he doesn't, he'll be overrun. If an animal will do this, why wouldn't a man?
Marv takes the town to court, but he loses. Then the town make their final move. Remember that sewer connection? The one he's been putting off for 10 years? They fine Marv $100 every single day until that sewer problem is fixed. And worse still, he's not allowed to operate his business until it's resolved.
You know, they think that I should have to stay down there in Granby. I should have put up with all the dust.
Marv's trapped. This is moment 4. This is the moment they finally break him. He mails a check to the town to pay for his first month of fines, addressed to the Cowards and Liars Department. Then, in October 2002, he shuts down Mountain View Muffler. He closes the doors and puts everything up for auction. Oh, and there's one more thing. 1 month after losing the lawsuit, Marv bought a bulldozer. A Komatsu D355A, 49 tons and 410 horsepower. A beast. He puts that up for sale too. When auction day rolls around, bidders show up. It all sells, but 2 things don't. His property and the bulldozer. Afterwards, Marv is sitting in his hot tub at home, trying to make sense of it all. The water is going cold around him, his fingers wrinkled. He'd be there for hours. Then, an idea came to him.
I am going to sacrifice my life, my future, to show you that what you did was wrong.
It's at this point that Marv goes dark. He finds a buyer for his property, a local trash company that pays him $400,000. But he has one condition. He must absolutely be allowed to rent one garage off them. He reverses the Dozer into the garage, and it just fits with inches to spare. Then, something strange starts happening. Every night, lights turn on in the garage. The sound of welding and grinding metal can be heard. Inside is a single bed, a small fridge and a coffee maker. The only separation from work and his living quarters are some cheap plastic sheeting walls. The air is thick with concrete dust, the metallic twang of welding fumes mixing with stale cigarette smoke and body odor. He's building something no one has ever built before. First, the armor. He takes half-inch thick steel plates and welds them together into a hollow box structure. Then, he pours 4 inches of concrete between the steel plates. Slowly, the cabin becomes a fortress. Bulletproof. Explosion-proof. Because the cabin is covered in steel, he can't see out of it. So he comes up with an ingenious solution of mounting several cameras all around the Dozer that feed into TV screens inside, which he will use to navigate and observe the world. He mounts a .50 caliber rifle and points it through a small hole in the back of the Dozer. He also has a .30 cal, a .223 and a 9mm, as well as a revolver.
When I come back at you, I'm going to destroy your side of the playing field. I'm going to destroy you.
June 4th, 2004, around 2 p.m. Marv stands up in his workshop, staring at the machine he's spent the last 18 months building. It's not a bulldozer anymore, it's a tank. And it's ready for battle. He's made a list of all the people who have wronged him over the years, and today, he's gonna get them all. The 3 hours of audio manifesto that he recorded, that's been playing today, was mailed to his brother, and all his assets were transferred to his father, close to $1 million. He climbs up the ladder placed on the side of the killdozer and lowers himself into the cabin. He then welds it shut from the inside, creating a tomb. Marv turns the key and the Komatsu's diesel engine roars to life. Then, he bursts right through the garage wall, headed for his first target.
Marcia came across the radio and she was screaming. She said, "Caught it, caught it." Man, I went running over. Then he just turned the dozer and headed for the backpack.
There is a bulldozer over at Mountain Park Concrete destroying their building.
But Cody Dochev isn't giving up without a fight. He grabs a pistol and begins firing at the bulldozer, but the bullets bounce off like rubber. The dozer pivots and crushes one of the police vehicles. From there, Marv traveled down the main road in town, and this is where the real destruction begins. Finally, after all that, he's en route to his final target when disaster strikes. The dozer starts leaking fluids. Plumes of smoke erupt. The radiators are done. Marv continues on to his final destination though, Gamble's Appliances. Then, the dozer demolishes its last piece of the building. And as it does, it falls through to the basement. The tread sinks into the floor. The killdozer is stuck. The killdozer is done. And so is Marv. As police swarm the tank, a single shot is heard. They will later learn that this was Marv going out on his own terms using a .357 revolver. The terror lasted just 2 hours in total. 13 buildings were destroyed and $7 million in damage was done. The only death was Marv's. Some see Marvin Heemeyer as a terrorist, a madman, someone who could have killed dozens of people. But online, he became kind of a folk hero, a martyr for the anti-government crowd. Tread on those who tread on you. T-shirts, memes, documentaries sprung up in his honor. To his supporters, he's proof that when the system fails you and bullies you, you should fight back. To others, he's a warning that the distance between a reasonable man and mass destruction is just 4 moments. If you're still watching, then the YouTube algorithm knows exactly what you want. Of all the videos in my collection, it thinks that you're gonna like this one the most. You should watch it right now.